In this video, you're gonna learn exactly how to build AI agents for your business or be able to sell it to other clients from A to Z. I'm gonna show you from start to finish, so let's just get straight into it because I don't wanna cut into it fluff. You're gonna use 3 tools to actually build out these systems. You're gonna use Go High Level. If you're not familiar with Go High Level, definitely check it out. It's a sales and marketing CRM. It has an insane amount of automation that you can use. If you've never heard of it, you are probably living under a rock. You should definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. And you can take a 14-day free trial to see how it works. And this is where we're actually gonna deploy and build the AI agents. So you're gonna use High Level. Then the other thing we're gonna use is Claude. Claude is my preferred AI LLM model. You can use ChatGPT. I like to use Claude simply because you can create projects in Claude. And so as you can see here, I'm gonna pull this up. Projects allows you to save information about what you're actually building. So for example, here in this project, I have it to help me build the best Go High Level AI agents, right? And this project is specifically trained on how to accomplish this goal. And I even gave it a set of instructions on how to do this. And I gave it a big JSON prompt so that it could actually do it for me. And this allows it to where the type of responses it's gonna give me always is gonna have this frame of building these Go High Level AI agents. And then I upload even some other docs in here. I have CSVs that I use for our clients and things like that. You can connect it to your Google Drive, add specific context that you would want the project to have saved, upload any files, PDFs, CSVs, you name it, and flood it with as much detail, and you can fill it up to the brim. And then it's gonna use this to then actually be able to deliver the results that you actually are looking for whenever you're having a conversation with Claude. You can use ChatGPT. I haven't used it myself. I like to use Claude preferred. So what you're gonna do is gonna start your prompt with here, but I'm gonna skip over that. What you're also gonna use is Google Drive. Now, if you don't work with clients or aren't actually looking to store it in any way outside of Go High Level, then you don't need to use Google Drive. But I like to use Google Drive because whenever we are working with clients, they give us a lot of information about their business and what they do. And we want to store that in a centralized shared place so that they can use it if they ever want to upload or edit any files. And then we can share with them what we're actually putting together. So we like to use Google Drive. And the reason I can even speak on this or talk about this is because this is what I actually run for myself. I have my own agency and we build AI agents and AI systems for real estate investors, real estate professionals. And I've been doing it for a few months now, but we've actually, been able to close on clients, be able to deliver results. And so I'm not speaking out of my ass here. This is actually what works. And I'm going to show you how very simply I've been able to put these pieces together to actually build out these AI agents and then sell them to other businesses that find these very useful. Why do they find them very useful? Well, it's very simple. A lot of people don't want to talk to their leads because they're going to have to use their VAs. They're going to have to get on their lead managers to make sure that they're talking to their leads, right? AI allows you to talk to leads 24/7, have unlimited conversations, be able to qualify them for you, follow up with them automatically, book them on your calendar, all by itself. You see, that saves business owners a lot of time, a lot of money, and makes them a lot of money. So that's why people will pay that kind of stuff. So we had a payment $2,500. We set up a system for a mobile notary service company. I'm in the real estate space. I don't know jack all about mobile notary services, but the reason that I even took on the clients is because I know how to build out these AI agents and these systems. And since I've learned how to build these systems, I can then deploy them into other different businesses because I know exactly how to build these out. I know the framework, I know exactly what to use. And if I don't know, I simply ask AI, I ask Claude to help me how to build these. And this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna show you from start to finish. Let's get straight to it. So firstly, what you're gonna wanna do is set up a project for this. If you don't know any instructions or any database on what to load up into the actual project itself, well, guess what? I just told Claude to make one for me. So go ahead and ask Claude or ask ChatGPT, hey, give me a set of instructions that I can save into a project that will help me build out the best Go High Level AI agents. We use Go High Level to deploy these agents, and I'll show you on this account here. I've actually yet to make one. So I'll pull this up right now so you can see. We're gonna start with a brand new one. So we're gonna start off firstly with actually mapping it out on Claude. We're gonna go through here, and on Claude, we're gonna ask it, help me build an AI agent for my real estate wholesale business. I want to use this in Go High Level. So give me the personality, intent, and additional information, plus a vast knowledge base. This is very important. All of these details that I just mentioned is how Go High Level actually sets up their AI agents. And we're gonna tell Claude, that's already trained on how to do it for Go High Level, we're gonna tell it to give us that exact information for what we're looking for. And you'll see here, as I'm in Go High Level, You're gonna select this one here, prompt-based bot. You can use guided form. They just released this new one that I haven't checked out yet, but we're gonna use prompt-based bot. The guided one, it's kind of whack, honestly. You wanna be able to customize and super edit the way you actually build out these AI agents. So we're just gonna name this test AI agent. And we're gonna hit autopilot. This is gonna make sure that it responds to all the conversations. You can then select what sort of messaging channels and communication channels it's gonna be communicating with. So wherever you actually handle leads, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, through a chat widget, WhatsApp, or SMS. We're gonna leave all of these on for right now, but most of the clients that we work with, they use SMS. And then how quickly it responds to leads. We're gonna put, usually you wanna put it honestly around 60 seconds to like 3 minutes. The most I think you could set it to is 5 minutes here. Yeah, but the quicker the better. Speed to lead is the name of the game. Like you can look it up, like Harvard Business has like a study to where it's like if you respond to leads within 1 minute, like your conversion rates go up by like 391%. It's absolutely nuts. And if you have that applied for every single conversation your business is having, I mean, just imagine the amount of results you're gonna get, the amount of more qualified leads you're gonna have through the door because you're getting to leads faster than ever. VAs won't do that for you. Your lead managers, you're gonna have to get on their ass so they actually do it every single time. But with AI, you can make sure that it does it every single time. So we'll set it to 1 minute. And the max amount of messages you can send per conversation, we're gonna set it to 25. That's the actual max. It doesn't allow you to do more. Most of the time, it doesn't actually ever run into any issues where it stops having conversation because it's had a too lengthy of a one. I'm getting mumbled up with my words, but too lengthy of a conversation. It usually never happens, so 25 is the most. Here we're gonna set it to where it can check images and voice notes. They actually just implemented, Go High Level just added this feature, which is absolutely amazing. And I'll show you exactly what this looks like. For example, how it can actually read through the photos it sends over. So for example, one of the use cases is that let's say you have an AI agent that's reaching out to real estate agents to see if they have investment properties and they send over photos of the actual property. The AI can actually look at the photos and respond based on those photos. So I'll pull up like a conversation of it where it was able to like have the conversation with them, go through the condition of the actual property and tell the real estate agent, hey, I see it needs this much work. I see it has vintage this. And you're gonna be like, holy smokes, it's gonna do this for every single one of my leads? Yes. So here we're gonna have send the bot to sleep. When I send a message manually through a workflow, this just basically means that if at any point you or your client decides to respond manually, the AI will shut off, right? So we set it usually to 24 hours and then it'll turn back on 1 day later. Or if it's through a workflow, this is very important and I'll go into it after all, because whenever you are setting these automations so that the AI can then have a lengthy amount of conversations and be able to actually qualify leads and book them on your calendar, you put automations in place for that to happen. So at any point, if you send a message, it's gonna turn off. So you gotta make sure, I'll show you what that looks like. You gotta make sure that after every single SMS message or every message you do send out, you turn that on. So you have to turn the AI back on and I'll show you what that looks like later part in the video. So that's all set up. Bot training, this is where you're gonna actually put in your knowledge base and we're gonna go back to Claude so that it can give us all of the details that we need for this. And we'll create a new one actually right now. Test to video agent. And we'll actually put this all together right now. So you can see exactly what this looks like. And it's gonna open up this knowledge base. This is where you upload it with as much information as possible. So you can actually have it be trained on exactly you and the process that you wanna have set up for your business. And then if you're actually doing this for your clients, that's why you need the Google Drive so that they can share with you docs about their business, if they have a website, any other information about team members and how they communicate. Because again, you wanna remember that these AI agents are supposed to behave as the client, right? And they're supposed to have a conversation as the client. You can have it set up to where it's used as an assistant, but most of the time you want it to be taking on the role of the actual existing customer. So if it's doing that for you, you wanna have it be trained on the way they communicate, whether they have any sort of videos that they've posted and they have any videos about what they've talked about before. If at any point you can pull a conversation history of how they actually text leads, pull that all together so that you can use that, and then now the AI is going to talk exactly like them, and it's absolute. The results are amazing whenever you train it properly, because it's what we implemented for our clients and we've seen it do well. So web crawler is the one you're going to use if you ever want to look through websites and actually upload websites that your client might have. So if they have anything like that, you would just go ahead and put that URL in here and it'll extract information for that website. The other way and the other life hack is that whenever you actually create these AI agents, we're gonna actually build out Google Docs from what Claude is gonna give us, and then we're gonna have it be trained on that data because we're gonna upload the Google Doc link here, and I'll show you what that looks like after. FAQs, I don't really use this one much because I've noticed that it kind of messes up with the responses. You can if you run a home service business and you run an agency for them and they have some frequently asked questions, This is probably pretty useful to use, but we don't use that at all for our agency. Tables is where you can upload CSVs. This is absolutely great. Just think about all the data you can put into an AI agent if you're able to upload a table with maybe products and prices and descriptions of products, or the way you handle objections is what we set up for some of our clients, is a specific way to handle objections, and it's trained on that, gives it more context on how to handle these objections so that it's actually trained properly on it. So you can upload CSVs. Rich text is, I don't know, just more data you can actually throw in here. I haven't used this myself, I'll be very honest, but you can just throw in more data in here so that it's also trained on this as well. And then file upload is the last one, where you can actually upload PDFs in here. So PDFs, docs, docx, and then it also gets trained on this. So, and how do we get all of this information so that we can build out this AI agent for yourself or for your client? Well, we go back to Claude. Again, AI is such a powerful tool. If you're not using it now in your business, in your day-to-day operations, we'll call it in life in general, you are missing out on the greatest intelligence that has ever existed to be able to help you grow in your business, grow as a person, and be able to actually facilitate what you're looking to do and achieve your goals. AI is the smartest intelligence, so why not use it now? So this is why I highly encourage it and I preach on it, because it can accelerate your growth, and it's what it's done for me in my business. So we're gonna go back to how we start off here, actually building out the AI agent now that we've covered what it looks like to actually build them out with the knowledge bases. So now that we have this put in place, the personality, intent, and additional information, actually we have to go back to that so that I can explain what that looks like, because we went over just the knowledge bases here. The personality and intent is basically how the AI is gonna actually communicate with the leads after you've put the bot training. So the bot training has been put in place. Now we need to go to the bot goals. And the goals of the AI, they're very simple. It's broken down into this personality. It says goal here, and it used to be called intent. Actually, they kind of switched it up on me. But it's the goal of the actual AI, and then the additional information, any sort of guardrails you want to have it set, and things like that. And now, again, AI will make this very simple for you. If you have no idea, what do I put in here? How do I phrase it this way so that I make sure it works? AI will cook it up all for you. And then here at the bottom, there's actions that you can set. So if you needed to set an appointment booking system and you hook it up to your client's calendar or your client or of your calendar, this is how you do it here. So you would select a specific calendar. So I'll select this one here, test subject personal calendar, go through, and then there's some other automations here that we put in place so that it actually connects. So you would then connect it to the calendar, and that would allow the AI to actually be able to give out times for whenever to actually book an appointment, or you can have it set to where it just sends a booking link here. So I mean, it's pretty, think about it this way. It's going to be running 24/7 in your business, always responding to leads, always qualifying, always following up, and always looking to book them on a calendar. Do you think you're going to make more money when you have something like that in place? Probably. So the other thing that's sweet about these AI agents is that you can trigger other workflows. If you aren't familiar with what workflows are, these are automations that actually get put in place before you actually have the AI running. So for example, if you want to have it to where it drips into a follow-up sequence after it's identified a certain situation. So for example, if you're done collecting details and qualifying a lead, and now you want to put them into a long-term follow-up sequence, you don't want to keep the AI running for that, right? You want to make sure that it's like, okay, this lead is not ready to sell, it's not ready for an offer, or is not ready for whatever product or service I have to deliver. So I'm going to add them to our long-term nurture sequence, our long-term follow-up. And what you would do is you would build out that actual workflow, that automation already in place, set that as the one you want it to trigger once it's met that condition. So once the lead has expressed that they are not actually looking to receive a cash offer or anything like that, I'm putting in the example of wholesale real estate because this is who we mainly work with. If they're not ready to receive a cash offer, then we actually add them to the follow-up sequence. And it applies to any business. If they're not ready for your service now, you still want to make sure you stay in touch with them because money is made in the follow-up. Then you have the AI automatically put them into the follow-up sequence for them. And you can have, I believe, 5 of these. So we'll go through and actually build all of these out. And then the auto follow-up, this is phenomenal. This is game changer because at any point when the AI is having a conversation with the lead, and let's say the lead does not respond back, the AI will automatically follow up with them, and you can set it to days, hours, and minutes. Normally, I like to set it 1 day later, and you will just let the AI send a message, or again, you can have it trigger another workflow and have a suite of automations behind it as soon as you do build it out. So we'll set this here 1 day, 3 days, and then 7 days. And after 7 days, we'll trigger a workflow that will actually, set off a whole bunch of sequences after that point and what that all looks like. So that's just briefly going over what this looks like. And again, you will then tell Claude everything about this. You will train it on how Go High Level sets up their AI agents from start to finish, because you don't have to actually know all of this yourself. You just got to know who knows. And right now, who knows everything? AI knows a lot of good stuff. So you just reach out to Claude or ChatGPT and tell it, hey, I need to build it exactly the way Go High Level has their set up so I can create these. Tell me how to do it. And so then we'll actually add that in place here. We'll add, also give me instructions for the trigger workflows attached to this AI and any other actions needed. So then we'll put that all in place. And what you want to do here is also, since it's been trained on how to use this and how to build out these AI agents with the way Go High Level does it, we're going to have it ask us questions so that it can build it exactly the way we want to, right? It needs more context on who we are, who we're looking to deliver this for if it's one of your clients. So you need to have it ask you questions so that you can then request that from the client, or if you're building this for yourself, you then answer those questions on behalf of yourself, right? On the AI sense. Okay, so ask it. So then ask me a set of questions so you can build out this AI agent. To the best of your abilities, right? Simple prompt, nothing crazy, but since it's already trained with the actual project instructions and it knows exactly how to build these because we told Claude to do some research on how to put these all together, it's then going to ask us questions on how to actually build this out. What's the primary goal for this AI agent? Choose one or rank priority. Lead qualification or pre-screening realtors, booking discovery calls or appointments, educating agents by your investment criteria, nurturing existing agent relationships, all of the above. What's the priority order? So this is what we have for ourselves. Cold outreach, what stage of relationship will this AI handle? Cold outreach, warm leads, active relationships. It's going to ask you a plethora of questions because it's going to know exactly what's the goal for this AI. What do we want it to do? So we're going to say lead qualification and pre-screening realtors. And then if you have a booking, if you're looking for it to book calls or set appointments for you, then you set that one. Educating agents about your investment criteria. We like that one, so we're just going to copy that one. We're going to put that one in place. All of the above is with the priority. Nurture existing relationships. We're just going to set it as that because we're looking just pre-qualify. This is going to be strictly qualifying agents to then add them to a follow-up sequence. So this is what we'll do for this one. What stage of the relationship will this AI handle? We'll put cold outreach. Agents who's never heard of you is what we'll answer for number 2. And then you see how very simple. I'm not, like, how much brain power am I using here to set this all up? I'm taking the responses and the suggestions that AI is giving me because it knows better. It knows better, and we just have to put it all together for our clients or for ourselves. And then now we have an AI agent in our business. So what does success look like specifically? X qualified book calls, number of A-grade agents, X deal sourced from agent network per month. So let's put deal source. We're looking to source deals. So X deal source per month. Current process and pain points. What's happening right now when agents respond to your outreach? Manner response from you or your team. Generic auto replies. Nothing leads go cold. We'll put all of the above. And we want this to sound just like us when communicating. This is very important because this is going to be the DNA of the AI. And whenever you give it the right DNA, you give it the right information on how to actually communicate with leads, depending on the type of leads it's working and who's the actual client you're delivering it for, or if it's for yourself. You want it to talk like you so that it doesn't sound robotic. It doesn't sound like it's AI. You want it to mimic the way you speak, and then you'll realize the results are going to be 10 times better. So here, number 5, what are the top 3 objections and questions agents typically have? Proof of funds concerns, how are you different? This is the objection handling, pricing, commission questions, market specific questions. Let's just say all of the above. Let's just keep this simple. All of the above. What makes an agent A grade? Deal frequency for sure. Deal frequency. So is the one that makes it above. Great. Deal frequency. Market knowledge, responsiveness, types of properties they work with. Types of properties as well. Properties. And then we'd go in more in depth here. Mainly looking for off-market deals. And so now the AI is going to be trained with this. And again, the more information you give it, this is why it's very important to where you have a Google Drive. If it's for your client or for yourself, you want to feed it as much information. Like I'll even show you what we have put in place, and I'll show you a form that we have that we send over to all of our clients so that you can see kind of the level of in-depth data that we put into these AI agents with Go High Level so that it gives us the absolute best results. So firstly, we just need to get their contact details. But for example here, like their role, if they have a website, we'll be able to scrape their website like we're showing with the actual knowledge base. How long have you been in business? It's gonna then know they've been in business for this long. What makes your company different? We're gonna add this. Prospect frustrations. Usually what's the frustration that other real estate agents or other sellers have whenever they're talking to you, or other customers. Whatever fits your actual business model and your niche, you would answer that question. Positioning statement. We're not like wholesalers who tie up properties and disappear. We actually close. Something that's like your catchphrase. Boom, AI will be trained on that. What is your ideal client / customer? Be specific. Again, the AI will all be trained on this stuff. And this is what we ask for every single one of the clients that work with us. Services and boundaries. What are their primary services or products they offer? Again, based on what you do, what we don't do, geographic markets, price ranges, ideal criteria. Basically what I'm showing you here is the level of in-depth information we require so that the AI is trained on all of this. This makes the performance of it 10 times better so that it's responding to leads a lot better, qualifying more leads for you, the exact ones you are looking for, and booking them all on your calendar so you can start seeing results. So all of these are put together. This is how we go through actually setting up these AI agents, no matter the industry, no matter what they actually work in, as long as we are given the right information and then use AI to train us on it, you can build out these AI agents for any sort of business. You just got to have the model and the framework. So that's just an example. And this is kind of briefly what this AI is doing here, is asking us questions so that it can have that information and then actually build out the AI agent. So now we'll go back here to 7. What documentation do you already have? Recent deal case studies with specifics. I mean, that's phenomenal. Yes, we've closed deals. Deal case studies. We request this so that the AI can also bring up deals whenever someone asks them, a real estate agent asks them, hey, have you closed on any properties? It's like, hey, yeah, I actually closed on this one. This is what happened with this property. Here's the actual link if you want to see it on market. Boom. Would you think that's a robot? No, you wouldn't think that's a robot, but that's how you can build out these AI agents so that they absolutely work phenomenal in your business because you give it all the data that exemplifies and represents you, market by market criteria. We're gonna say all of the above for this one. Honestly, we want this to be the most cracked out AI agent. So we'll say all of the above there. What don't agents know about what you do currently? I'm stumbling. Your builder relationships for renovations, your 4-year track record specifics, your response time commitments, your closing rate versus other investors. What don't agents know about what you like, what you build? Credibility. I'm stumbling over the words right now. Okay, so for 8, what don't agents know about you that would build credibility? Your builder relationship for renovation, your 4-year track record specifics, your response time commitments, your closing rate versus other investors, and let's just say all of the above. We're gonna go through all of the above for this one. And the reason it's asking me these specific questions is because I've already trained this Claude, and I already made a video about this as well. Claude is trained on exactly who I am and my business and my experience so that it's asking me these questions as if it was building it specifically for me. So, which it is, that's the goal, but you would do this and it would ask you questions about you and your business. Now for number 9, how do you want agents to feel when you're talking to the AI? We want to give it as much details on how we communicate. That's going to be super important so that it understands exactly the way you have conversations. So this is serious professional operation. These guys are easy to work with and responsive. They actually close deals unlike other investors. Whatever terminology you want to have the AI know and like the way it conversates, this is super important because it's going to make sure that it sounds just like you or your clients. So we're going to go with this is a serious and professional operation. That's the way it's going to sound. Keeping it super simple. What's number 10? What's your communication style when texting with agents? We're going to still keep it professional and formal. And we've noticed we have one of our clients who's like, he likes to keep it super casual and the AI responds like that. It doesn't sound robotic. It talks just like him and texts just like him because we uploaded a conversation history of the way he communicates with agents. And now it speaks just like him. And it's made the improvement of the actual AI so much better to where it's like people don't realize it's AI. That's how powerful this stuff can be. So integrations and workflows, what should happen after the AI qualifies an agent? We'll just have it, we'll add this, add to a follow-up workflow and tag them in the CRM. And we'll do that from the trigger workflows. Very simple, just tag them a grade A agent or a qualified lead or whatever you want to tag them as whenever you're actually building it out in Go High Level. Now 12, what Go High Level workflows automation do you already have set up? If you have any of these set up, let's just say none. But if you have any of these set up and you know exactly which ones you're going to use, then that's what you'll put in here. Based on now this is stuff that's saved in our project specifically for it. Take your time. So I think we're good to go for this. And now we just have AI now actually cook up the prompt, the personality, the intent, the additional information, and the actual AI that we're going to use for it. Okay, so now we're going to have it be built out for AZ Home Buying is what I just put here. I initially sent over the prompt, but then it disclosed some information about our client, so I wanted to make sure that we cut that out. But we would just give it the name, and again, you'd go over the details on it like I explained with the actual form. You could have this be filled out for yourself, or you send this over to your clients, and then you have all of the details about how the AI needs to be built for their business. So now it's going to actually cook it up for us. And like I said, the way it's going to do it is going to be in the configuration Go High Level has it set up. So the personality is exactly what we would use here. We would just copy this, open up Go High Level, and then actually paste it in here. So if it doesn't fit, I'll give you guys a life hack on what it looks like if it doesn't fit whenever you are actually building these. And when I mean it doesn't fit, basically what I'm saying is that right here, you see how it says words left? Go High Level only allows you to put in a certain amount of text for each of these different prompts, the personality, the goal, and the additional information. But the way you can bypass it and go around it is I'll give you the life hack here, especially after we hit it with one of these. So I'm just going to copy these really quickly. You're going to have AI make these exactly the way. And like if you look over how it actually builds them out, primary goal, qualify real estate agents as potential referral partners and educate them on AZ Home Buying's investment criteria to source off-market deals. Success looks like agent confirmed active license and investor experience, understand specific investment criteria. We can indicate their deal flow, how often they come across deals, grade them accordingly, the strategy behind the conversation, and what each grade represents, any sort of handoff triggers, additional information. This is the one where we give it like the operational guidelines as it says here. Basically the guardrails for the AI to where it's like, this is what you do for this task. Don't ever say this, anything like that, to where we give it full-blown instructions so that it doesn't actually mess up in the middle of a conversation. So we'll save this here. And the way you can go around it here as well, it should have the whole additional information that we just uploaded there. Oh, it looks like it's not too much of a lengthy one. Yeah, so it's not that long. Most of the time, from whenever I was building these out, sometimes these could be very, very long. And so then you would have to actually have a custom value that you would put in place for them. So what that means here is if you're familiar with Go High Level, you can create these custom values, which is basically just a key or a dynamic field that would replace an existing piece of data. So we'll go to the settings here and we'll actually create a custom value very quickly so you can get an understanding of what that actually means. So we'll create one right now. Test agent additional information is what we're going to name it. And so what you would do is that as soon as you have this in place, I just pasted over the actual prompt that we got from Claude, and you would save this as a key, and then you can organize this a lot better. This is so important to use, especially if you're delivering for clients, so that you can keep all those prompts organized, because if you don't, you're not going to know exactly where things are, how things properly work. So the best thing you can do is save these on your own, put them on a spreadsheet or use Airtable. I like to use Airtable, and store all of that data for yourself in one centralized hub, so that you know exactly what prompt is set up for what actual client, and it makes delivery overall a lot better. So then what you would do is you would copy that key. So I'm going to delete this, and then you would just paste that in there. And that would shrink the size of the words left. So you can do that for all of these here. So if at any point you run into like, oh my gosh, I ran into the limit of the words I can use to actually set up the goals for the bot, just go ahead and put them into these custom values and you can still use them. And it works just fine. So that's a life hack there. That's a tidbit there. And now we're going to go back here to Claude and see what else it cooked up for us to actually be able to build out the rest of the AI agent. Knowledge-based documents. So right now it's doing some research on AZ Home Buying, and it's creating objection response library, agent qualification framework document, creating objection response library in a CSV. Like, it's doing all of the work for you. I get a little excited because previously I would have to figure out my way on like how to build this myself, just because I'm just, okay, what sort of documents would I need? Let me request this from this client. With AI previously, you wouldn't be like, think about the amount of documents and the amount of legwork it would take to put something like this together. AI does it all for you. So right now it's doing all of the research, it's cooking up all of the documents for us. And then once we have that all put in place, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the bot training, create a new knowledge base, and then upload all of that information into the actual AI. So once this is done, I'll go ahead and put back the video so that we can see kind of the results of this. Okay, so it honestly took a little bit longer than I expected, but it's because it over-delivered, honestly. It gave me complete 9 documents for our package. The core AI configuration, it gave us the company identity based on AZ Home Buying, the exact investment criteria they have, objection response handling, so it's going to be a library that we're going to upload as a CSV, agent qualification framework, a view of example conversations, an FAQ database, workflow triggers guide, an implementation guide, and then a quick reference card for like how to use everything, copy the personality and send additional information directly into your GoI level, upload the knowledge base, should only take 10 minutes. These are your next steps. Like it framed out everything so that we could launch this AI agent. And this is exactly what we're gonna do. It put it all together for us. And here are all the actual documents that it cooked up for us. You see how powerful these tools are. And it's like, this is how quickly you can deploy these AI agents to where it's like, if you're not using any of this stuff for yourself, it just takes a few hours of just putting some stuff together, configuring some projects, just giving it some text, just typing on the keyboard, honestly, and then you can have something like this ready to go. So here's our quick reference card for how to put this AI agent together. We already have the personality. We already went ahead and did this, the intent of the actual AI, and the additional information we have for it. And again, this is all customized to whoever you are working with. So that's why it's very important, and as like I said here, to where you have the actual files stored here. And like if you connect the Google Drive with your client or for yourself, if you have all of your docs about your business stored in the Google Drive, you can upload that in here, and now the project's gonna actually respond on behalf with all of that actual data. So we go through personality, intent, additional information. It gives us the tags we should create in GoI level, A grade agent, B, C, makes sense, status tags, based on all the questions that we answered. And it gives us the whole playbook on what we need to do here. So what we're gonna do here actually is start putting this all together. So we have here the actual quick reference card. We should have another one about the ones that we're looking for is the knowledge bases. So here, company identity profile. This is a knowledge base that we want to store. So okay, so I made some updates and I made sure that I got rid of some documents about my clients. I want to make sure that we're not. Okay, so I told Claude to make some updates so that it's not talking about our clients because they accidentally gave me a response going over all of our client stuff. So now that it has all the documents and like the CSVs that we're gonna upload to GoI level, this is basically right here. This is basically our whole AI agent build, and like you can look at all of these documents yourself to see exactly if they got the right details, if it got the right properties put together, if it got the right information. So a lot of the stuff here is using a lot of what we have saved in our actual Claude and like the system settings that we have in here. But this would be made specifically for what you're looking to service. So here's the company identity profile. Here we have a home buying objection response library that we'll upload as the CSV into the actual AI agent. Then we've got, here's another FAQ database. And we're just gonna feed it all of these details because it's gonna become the brain of the actual AI. And this one here, workflow trigger and integration guide. So this is a guide, even if you don't know how to actually set up these workflow triggers in GoI level, which I'll briefly go over to make it super simple, that it gives you so that it's based on the actual AI agent itself. So if no contact, like it gives you steps on like how to update the actual, what pipeline setup you would have, move it to this stage after this happens. And this is what you would train yourself on. And then actually the AI agent as well, home buying implementation guide. So this is the guide on how to actually set everything up. First, we need to set up the personality, intent, additional information, which we already have, the company identity, the framework, the conversation examples, FAQ database, integration documents. So we're gonna upload all of this so that the actual AI is trained on all this stuff and then go through finishing all of this out. So we'll do that right now. And it starts off with actually getting, if we check here, yeah, we're gonna create that. I believe we already have it. So test YouTube video agent, and we have the knowledge base here, and we're gonna actually add these details. So the way we'll start off with this is pretty simple, is we're gonna get first the company identity profile, and we're gonna copy this one and put this into a new Google Drive, Google Doc, basically. So we're gonna put this to a Google Doc, super simple, paste that whole actual prompt. You can download it as a PDF as well. And then what you wanna do here is let's just update the name and share this and make it anyone with a link. And what we're gonna do is copy this link. And now that this link is copied, we'll actually feed it to our AI agent in the knowledge base and put the actual URL here. And now it's going to get trained on that data. And so what we can do as well with this, just to make sure that it's like super trained on this information, is also download this actual PDF or this doc. So we're going to go download, put this into PDF, and then we're going to actually upload it as a file right here. File upload. And now we upload this file as well. And now it's processing that data as well. So it's going to be on two ends. I don't know exactly if it matters where we put them, but I like to put them in both just to make sure that it's fucking, you memorize this stuff, you know, and I want to make sure the AI actually knows all of this data and keeps it all in every single conversation it's looking to have. So we're going to go back here and do the same thing for all of these as well. So the investment criteria and the market. So this would be very custom to whoever it is. Again, if they're not in this market, but they have their exact specifics, and this is why it's amazing to ask this to your clients and get this all from a form that you set up for them, or just for yourself. If you're doing this for yourself, feed it all of the details because the AI is going to have that stored and memorized. So again, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go back here, home buying, create a new doc, paste the whole doc. And again, if there's any details that you want to edit or change, that's up to you to go through, but you want to make sure that everything is actually the way it needs to be set up. Since this is just for the video for right now, I'm just going to go through and upload all of these docs because most of this should be pretty fine. And then you would get this information, add source, file upload, and now we got this new one that we're going to upload as well. The investment criteria, it's going to use all of this data whenever it's actually having conversations, working through leads. So right now it's being trained on that page, and then we're going to add another one here. If it lets us, I think because it's still training, it's not going to let us. So we'll just jump ahead and actually fill out, we'll upload a CSV with all the objection handling, objection response library. So it's this one right here. And you can see Claude even just made an update because previously they wouldn't actually create CSVs, but now they have. So now we can just grab this whole CSV and actually just download it. And then straight from here, upload it into our agent. And click that. It should be just fine as long as it doesn't give us any issues, and it should get all the data. And now it's going to also be trained on this as well. Yep. So it's got everything. And so we're going to go through. Yeah, no, we're good. Next. And this is how you set these up. This is how quickly you can deliver these AI agents for yourself. There should really be no reason as to why you don't have something like this in your business when all I did was just have a conversation with AI. All I did was talk to the chat to be able to set everything up, even from starting the project. Now it's getting all of this data for me and saving it into the actual AI agent, and then it's testing it all out. And again, I'm gonna leave this like the way it is, but if there's anything like this that you need to change specifically for your business, then you would obviously look over the docs and make sure that it's actually the right information. What else? Conversation examples. And just look at how much data now the AI is also being trained on because of this. So I'm actually just gonna copy this and then put it as a new doc as well. That's what I like to do. Just because I then save this as a Google Drive with our clients in case they ever want to make any edits, go through the actual data that we put into the AIs for them. And it's like, hey, if you ever have any questions or want to change anything, you can go in there and do it yourself. So either they request it from us or we let them know, hey, this is where in the document, if you ever want to update something, go ahead and do it here. So that's what that looks like. And again, we're going to do the same thing here. And with the link, copy this one, and then actually upload it once it's actually done with this one here, if it's done training. This one usually honestly takes a while to get it trained on all of this because it starts using it as knowledge chunks whenever it's actually having a conversation, and you'll see what I mean by that. But sometimes during the conversation, you can literally see the AI agent and how it's picking up on conversations, and it's gonna tell you where it pulled that piece of data from. So it's pretty sweet. So this one's taking a little while here, but we'll go ahead and upload it as a doc. So we'll get the PDF for this one and do the same thing. Put this all together, file upload, get this most recent one. And now it's going to be trained on all of this. It's trained on the investment criteria AZ Home Buying has, the company identity AZ Home Buying has, and then we go back here. Is the tables one uploaded? So this one's already done. And I think there's a few more that we still need to do. The FAQ database. And this could be done honestly as an FAQ to where like you do it like this, for example, and you just fill this one out with the FAQs. I personally haven't done this one yet just because I feel like it runs into issues whenever I'm actually building out the actual prompts for the agents. Sometimes it steps in and like, even if the question isn't slightly the one they just asked, it overthrows the conversation and it kind of sounds off. It doesn't sound natural whenever I put these in. So I wouldn't recommend using these. If you have better experience with it, then by all means you can go ahead and do so, but I wouldn't recommend using that. I would just honestly go upload it as a CSV instead. And that makes it a lot more natural whenever it's having conversations instead of using this FAQ. So we'll add another one here, file upload. Let's see. Oh, is it just not gonna let me right now? I guess it's not gonna let me. Oh wait, it's because I'm on the wrong one. Goofball. Alrighty. Tables. There we go. FAQ. And now it's uploaded with all of this data as well. Next. And now we get to test out the AI and make sure that it actually works properly. And the beautiful thing is that Go High Level actually allows you to test the AI agent without having to actually publish it or put it live with any sort of leads and things like that. Obviously, I would recommend the best thing to do after you actually put it all together is test it out briefly here within High Level, but also test it out with your phone number or through whatever actual messaging channel you use to set up these agents for whatever leads you're working in your business. Test it out through there. But here, High Level lets you actually test it out here. So I'm going to do it very quickly, see kind of how it responds. And the whole goal of this AI is to qualify me as a real estate agent, since they are investors. Are you a licensed real estate agent currently working with investor clients? Yes, I am. How can I help? And I'm just going to act like an agent. Some agents are complete assholes, so even treat it that way as well. Not all, but some agents can be complete assholes. So if you want to, spruce it up a little bit, throw it those type of objections. Thank you for confirming. May I ask which Texas markets you primarily cover? This helps me share our investment criteria relevant to your area. I'm in Austin. How many deals have you done? How'd you get my number? And I haven't looked over like the actual AI and if it was trained on this specifically, but look at the sort of responses it's going to give here. So thank you for sharing your market, and I appreciate your questions. We've closed 2 to 3 off-market deals monthly across Texas for the past 4 years. Recent Austin area examples include this one on Pepper Tree and Terrace Street in Round Rock. Your contact was sourced through a professional agent network focused on investor-friendly agents. May I confirm your license is currently active with Trek? That's a little bit too egregious, honestly, I think, for a texting. So we'd probably remove some of that stuff within the prompt and not have it say it that way, just to make sure that it's like coming off like that. But we also did tell it to be very professional. But I don't think investors ever request to get licensing information to see if they're currently active with Trek. Why would you want that? I am active. And cool to hear your closings. What is your, see here to scroll down so we can see what is your exact criteria. And I know we gave it one, so it should pull from it when we're actually having the conversation here. And as you can see, it does. So like this is, again, think about the power of this. Is like you would have to give templates to your VAs or you would have to train your lead managers on this. But the AI, from one conversation that I had with Claude, it has all of this data stored. So here, thank you for confirming your active license and your interest. We focus on off-market single-family properties in Austin and surrounding areas. Our ideal criteria built 1960 to 2010. Gives the size, cosmetic, price ranges, no active listings, off-market only. How often do you come across off-market deals that fit this profile daily, weekly, monthly, or rarely? It packed everything that we need so that they have no questions about what we're looking for. And this is great because whenever you're having a conversation with leads, you always want to get straight to the point with them and let them know exactly what you're looking for and how we can benefit and both do business. And this is specifically for investors talking to real estate agents, but think about it the same way whenever you're talking to maybe sellers, or if you're in a completely different business model and you're talking to your leads, you want to make sure that they have all the information possible so that they know if they want to do a deal with you, if they want to transact with you. You want to make sure that everything is clear. And that's the power of setting up something like this with AI, is that it's going to have all of that for you. So let's just say we go with weekly before I keep yapping. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Agents with weekly off-market deal flow are top priority for us. Do you typically source these directly or through your investor network? Phenomenal question, because a lot of agents honestly go through and get deals from other wholesalers and things like that. So the fact that it's asking this is great. And I'm gonna just say directly so that I mean, I imagine the AI is gonna be like, awesome. Now we look forward. That's great to hear. We value agents with direct access to off-market opportunities. Would you be open to a brief discovery call with our acquisition manager to discuss how we can work together? I can send you our calendar for scheduling. If you're looking to set appointments with real estate agents to build relationships and nurture them even more, and know that like from this point on, you're gonna keep talking to them for good business, then you would hook it up with the appointment booking here, hook it up to your actual calendar, and now the AI is gonna actually be trained on that as well. And then you would have it to where it's like either it sends time slots or it actually sends a booking link. And then we can also trigger a workflow right after. We don't have any workflow set up in here, but you can put that in place and allow bot to cancel appointment and reschedule. We like to have this on in case, at any point they want to cancel, we go ahead and have the AI be able to do that for us and schedule any sort of appointments. And then the other thing we want to do here as well is set up an auto follow-up. So we're going to set it to where it's like 1 day later, if they don't respond to any of our conversation, it's going to follow up in 1 day. Then we're going to set it to 3 days and then 7 days. And again, you can adjust this to how many you want, but we're going to go ahead and go all the way with this and just give it as much, because I think we can do 5 in total. So we'll do 30 days. And then after this, it'll trigger workflow. We don't have any of those put in place yet, but we'll set that to make sure we put 30 days. And now we're good with that. And now it's actually saved with this. Actually, we got to turn it on. And now it's actually saved and stored with that data. So now it's going to follow up for that long. As soon as they reply back, and that's going to happen as soon as they reply back. So when it's having an SMS conversation or Instagram or Facebook DM or whatever it is, as soon as they reply back and they're actually engaging with the AI is going to follow this auto follow-up sequence until they respond back to you. So it's pretty sweet to have that in place. Any stop bot configurations are also very important, because a lot of times people want to opt out. They no longer want to work with you. And for example, I'll actually pull up ones that we use currently within our business to just show you what that looks like. So here's a set of actual trigger workflows that we use for one of our clients. And then I actually show as well the actual stop bot sequences that we have. So this is the example of the stop bot sequences that we have for one of the AI agents we have for one of our clients. And so it would go like this. If they ever react with an iPhone message, this is honestly pretty interesting, and I learned from actually building out these AI agents. Usually a lot of times people on the phone want to do the iPhone React message, and whenever they do the iPhone React message, when it's registered in actual Go High Level, it shows up like a separate message, and sometimes the AI would actually respond to that message, and I mean that throws it off. So we made sure to actually have all of those example phrases included whenever it starts a message like that. When they send an iPhone message reaction, it's going to send a blank message, stop itself, and then reactivate in 1 minute to pick back up the conversation if they do reply back. Most of the time, whenever agents or leads or anyone like that responds with this, it's usually ending the conversation. So we've seen it totally fine, but we also have a tag that we give them so that we notify them, hey, the bot just stop for a second here. Make sure you check out kind of what happened with that conversation. And then here's like an opt-out sequence. If anyone says they're not interested, we have example phrases that we give them. No worries, thanks for letting me know, and things like that. And this is kind of what we have set up for anyone who wants to opt out from the AI and not continue the conversation. They don't even know it's AI, but they just don't want to continue talking to us. The AI is going to take care of that using something like this. And then here's some examples of the trigger workflows we've actually put in place, to where it's like we show them the property that's available. Anytime, this is for initial SMS AI agent. So anytime it's actually having a conversation with a lead, a real estate agent, and it detects that they actually have a property and they give one of these example phrases, and this is the condition we put in place, it's going to actually transfer it over to another AI agent that's going to have that conversation for them, and then it's going to start collecting property details. And what that looks like, so here I want to show an example of what that looks like actually whenever it actually picks up details. So like an address, so like we were showing here from the actual AI agent, whenever it's actually having a conversation and we want to add this contact info field as one of the actions, because we're transferring it over to now this new AI agent that's going to start collecting property details like I was showing in the example. We're going to actually have that agent start collecting details. So what we would put here is property address, is some of the details and the information that we wanted to collect. And then we're going to find the actual address. We'll just use this one because we don't have any custom fields for this, save for them. And then we're going to put address of the property the agent sent. And so we'll save that. And what that looks like once that's actually live, and you can obviously test it out. The most important thing about building these AI agents is testing it out rigorously, because not all the times is it going to actually work properly. You got to make sure you're testing it enough. So what that looks like is that once it's having a conversation here, you can see the action and the name it used. So I'm just covering over the name of the actual agent and the address they sent over, but it's gonna give you this notification as a contact field updated, and you'll see that once it's happening and it's actually having a conversation with the lead. So here, this is an example conversation that was actually from one of our clients, and they sent over an address of the property here in Plano. Thanks for sharing, and it references the property. Can you give me a quick rundown on the condition and what you're looking to get for it? Then they gave us details about the actual property. It's $499,000, needs updating, will be listed next week. And it collected that address in Plano, and this is what you would then use to save that in the opportunity card for your actual lead. So what an opportunity card looks like, just to break that down and make it very simple, because this is very crucial. Like collecting leads and collecting data, we don't even have a pipeline set up here, but we'll create one very quickly. YouTube pipeline. And this is where you will track all your leads and everything that's happening within the account. And what you can do is that as soon as there is a new, we'll use my email for right now. And as soon as there's a new lead, and then you would have a field for it. So I don't have it pulled up in this account, but we'll add the field right now. Is what we'll create is property address. And I'm going straight to it so that you could just follow along, because it's not that difficult to put all of these things together. You just got to know what to work on. So just follow along. You'd go here, and we're going to create all of the fields that we'd want to actually store. So the same ones that you'd want to get information for, property condition, are the ones we're actually going to create here. And we're just going to save them in the additional info folder, property condition, and then property asking price. And once you have all of these details and these fields, you can then also use these in the opportunity card. So what that looks like is, if we go here, it says contact, and these will be contact fields that are saved in the actual contact themselves, and the opportunity is what will be saved in the actual card that we were just showing over. So let me just show you what that looks like here. And I believe we have 8 of these here. So no, we don't have those. So we'll create a field that's going to be for the opportunity card. And we're going to do the same thing, property address. Then we're going to create one single line text, condition, single line text, and price. We don't have one for price here. And again, you can make these whatever you want. Whatever sort of details you're actually looking to collect from leads, you would then store that there. So what that looks like now is we created this separate thing. Delete this. And so now we're going to go to our pipeline, and whenever we create an opportunity, it's going to have property address, condition, and asking price. And this was made from the actual field from the actual opportunity. So what that means is there's 2 different contact fields that you can create within Go High Level. One is specifically tied to the contact, and then the other is tied to the opportunity. And the ones that we created there, the ones that the AI agent actually does collect, are the ones that are for the contact. So the reason I'm explaining that is so that it's very important whenever you're actually collecting these leads. Let me pull this up here. And we go back to our test agent. Whenever we actually have it collecting property details, like we're trying to do here, towards collecting property address, and now that we actually created the field in the system, we can use it. Okay, what's the example? We want an example of what that looks like. 123 Main Street, and then 321 Main Street in Dallas, and then 432 Main Street. We want to give it as many examples as possible so that it can connect any sort of details in the right manner. 75216. We'll put one of the zip codes here. And so now that that's saved there, anytime it's having a conversation, and we got to make sure that the prompt itself that we built for the AI agent matches this and asks for these details. Whenever they send over a property, we want to make sure that it asks for those details, and we'll test it out here, but you want to make sure that it actually collects those details. And once it does, we're going to have an automation trigger to where it'll update the CRM with those details in the actual card of that lead. So what that looks like here, very briefly, is we'll set up a quick automation. I think I went through the wrong one. Enable autosave. So we'll delete this, and we'll make this super simple. So as soon as there's going to be a trigger here, contact field, like we're mentioning, there's 2 different fields that we use. Contact changed. So the trigger runs when there are changes to the contact field, and we created the ones for property address. This is tied to the contact, And that's what the actual AI agent is collecting here, the property address. So then we'd go here, has changed, when it's changed at all is what we want to do. And we'll know it's changed because the AI is going to actually update it. Once it's actually changed, then what we're going to do is we're going to find the opportunity. So the opportunity is what's actually sitting in the pipeline here. So I'll duplicate this tab to show you guys what I mean here. And we'll first find the actual pipeline. So pipeline is, we have one created, the YouTube pipeline. And so we're going to find the opportunity card there, and it's going to be the one that we just created here. And this is how you actually automate the AI agent having the conversations for you so that you're tracking leads properly and making sure that all the details are getting collected. And so whenever there's an opportunity card here, so we'll select this, my email, new lead. And then anytime this, we're looking to fill this information up, we're going to have it fill up with whatever actual data it gets from the conversation with the AI agent. So it's first going to update the contact field. So as soon as the contact field is updated and changed, it's going to trigger this workflow, which is going to find the opportunity. And the opportunity is the one sitting in this pipeline here. We haven't created one yet, but the one that's going to be sitting here for whatever lead it's actually working. And then once it finds that opportunity, we're going to go ahead and update that opportunity. And this is the power of just some quick automations. We're going to update that opportunity. First, we're going to have to set it to pipeline, YouTube, and then the stage that it's sitting in. Whatever stage you want to update it to, since it's got details, we're just going to put it to contacted for right now, but you get the gist. And then we're going to look for address. And there it is, property address. So now we're going to put it with the address that it has from the actual contact. It's going to be property address here. And this is the one that's from the contact. You see here? This is the contact property address, and now it's saving it to the opportunity property address. They're two separate fields. This is very important. It can be a little bit confusing, but it's pretty simple once you understand that these fields are tied to separate things. One is tied to the opportunity, and one is tied to the contact. And once that's done, you would then just publish this and save it. And so anytime the AI agent's having a conversation and it's collecting details for a lead, for whatever leads, and I believe you can have like up to 11 different actual fields that you store here and save. If I go through and just add a bunch of these, so he's gonna let me just type this out really quick. Yeah, and you can add like 11 or more from what I've seen. I'm just putting all things together. So whatever sort of information you wanted to collect during the conversation, have all of that be updated, collected within the contact itself. And if you want it to show up in the actual opportunity card, that's gonna be stored here. And we'll just create one for right now, just so that I don't keep referencing this. You know what I mean here. It's gonna actually be saved here. So we'll just put 123 Main Street. So if it collects 123 Main Street from the conversation, now that we've put this automation into place, oh, it's not gonna, okay, I need to put the, who's assigned to? There we go. So you're gonna let me do it there? Oh, okay, come on. Okay, now I created it. It was giving me some issues because I had to create the contact, but now I've got a contact that we could actually create an opportunity for, and then we'll save it with this for right now. But this would be the information that the AI agent would actually collect. So we'll run it through very quickly because I think I can tie it to a phone number. I'll just use mine for reference. And then now that it's actually been created, we'll refresh really quick here. And anytime the AI is working leads, it's gonna get those details for you and then upload it into the actual card. So then it'll be sitting here, you look at the conversation, you'll look at the actual opportunity card and you'll see, okay, it has the address, condition, and asking price stored here for these actual leads. And then from that point on, you can then see, okay, what happened in the actual conversation and look through and any notes that get saved. And you can add all of these via the automation. So like right after it's actually done collecting those details, you can then add a note to it and say, reference the actual address so that it's saved in the notes as well for the lead. We'll put address. You see how this one says opportunity? So the one that we're actually looking to save here is the one for the contact because that's what immediately came in. But since we actually already updated it, we can save it with this one because we just pasted that new address into the opportunity field. So then we'll use that one to reference this one. If you have any other details for it, so asking price, let's say pull the asking price, boom, we get that one saved as well. And then once this automation triggers, as soon as it collects those details, boom, it gets saved and stored and updated in the notes here for your actual contact, which is phenomenal because you're then notifying the team of all the leads. Nothing is slipping through the cracks. Nothing at all is going to be slipping through the cracks. And so you have this set up, and that's how you would put some automations for the contact info. And then for the trigger workflow, we'll keep this very simple as I was showing with like the follow-up sequences. But probably at the end of the conversation with the real estate agent, they might not have a property, or for example, any sort of lead you're working, they're maybe not ready to sell yet. So then you want to put them into a long-term follow-up sequence. What you would then do is create that workflow for it. So we have that one, for example, but we'll actually just cook one up here really quickly, just to show you again how simple this is. It just takes a little bit of hours, or not too long. We're coming up on an hour on the video, but it just takes a little bit of time to put this all together. And you can follow along with this video so that you can make it for yourself as well. But we wouldn't set any trigger here for this one. And we'll just call this follow-up workflow every 30 days, what we'll name it. And so then here, anytime a lead comes in here, we're gonna have it wait 30 days. And after it's waited 30 days, we're gonna send an SMS. Hey, just wanted to see how things are going. Any new opportunities hit your desk? And we're just checking in. This is the lead for a real estate agent, but you would have your follow-up sequence based on whatever type of leads you work. And then we're gonna wait for their response. But the most important thing here, like I mentioned, if you guys remember at the very beginning of the video, okay, so we're gonna continue here. I thought I lost my recording here because I'm using Loom to be able to show you guys everything. So for some reason I thought it stopped, but we're gonna stitch this all together so we're all good. So back to the follow-up, every 30 days, SMS we can send over, hey, just want to see how things are going. Any new opportunities hit your desk. Again, you would change this specifically to whatever your follow-up should look like for your business, your niche, whatever industry you actually look to tack on. But what we want to do, which is very important, like I referenced at the beginning of the video, is that we want to turn back on the actual AI. So here we'll go to test AI agent and we're going to turn it back on. Because if you remember at the very beginning, I mentioned that whenever we're actually setting up the configurations for the AI agent, if I pull up the tab for it, we go here. When we're actually setting up the settings for it, we made sure to actually turn on the fact that it'll actually turn off whenever we manually text or send a message through a workflow. So here, if we scroll through the bottom, you'll see here, send a message manually or through a workflow. So since that is on, we have to make sure right after we send out that SMS, we actually start the bot. And I like to put my stuff on all caps. So we start the AI and we select the one that we want to start. And now that that's done, we're going to make sure that as soon as the SMS gets sent out, the AI immediately turns on. So as soon as they do respond, the AI is going to pick up the conversation. And then what we're going to do is hit a wait step. And we're going to wait for a reply to that SMS we just sent over. So it's going to be that same one right there. And we're just going to put it to wait 1 day, maybe, however long you actually want it to wait. You could put it to wait 30 days because if at any point you wanted to respond to just wait that 30 days for that one message, then you can. But usually we like to do 1 day because right after that 1 day, if they don't reply to that 1 day, then we would add them to another workflow that follows up with them. Or right then and there, you can send, hey, did you get, we wouldn't send it on all caps, but hey, did you get my last text? Still on the hunt for some more deals and can move fast if you need to close quickly. I don't know, I'm talking out of my ass here, but you just put something like this together to where there's a no response sequence. And again, you would then repeat the same process. As soon as you get the actual AI to turn off because you sent out an SMS, you want to immediately turn it back on right after and then do the same thing over and over and over again. And so now we're going to tie it to this new SMS. So what you want to do, this is a life hack here. You want to set it as SMS2 so that you reference the right one whenever you're looking here. So you see you're going to put SMS2 and you reference if they respond back to this specific test. And then you would keep building this out over and over and over and over again. And then if they do reply, the AI is on, so you don't have to build any automations for that. The AI is going to take care of actually picking up the conversation. But if there's anything you want to update in the CRM or the pipeline, then you can go ahead and do that. So like you would maybe find the opportunity, that same card, so that you're tracking everything that's going on with your leads. We're going to go to that YouTube pipeline we set up. I'm going to go to pipeline stage. Actually, now we're not going to select that one. We're just going to select the YouTube pipeline. And then we're going to go to, we found the opportunity here because it should still be in the actual pipeline. And we're going to update one actually. We can allow it to move. And then we're going to select the pipeline again. and pipeline stage. And then this is the pipeline that we have sent right now, but you would have something pretty simple. So honestly, I'll update it really quickly so that it makes kind of a little bit of sense here, what that actually looks like. So we'll go here to the pipeline, and to edit any of this stuff, you go to pipelines, hit this little pencil right here. I know I move very quickly, but I like to get shit done fast, fellas. So let's go new lead, waiting for reply. And then we'd add one which is like replied. And this is very crucial so you can track your KPIs. Replied has a property. And you would adjust this based on whatever is your actual sales process. But we're just making one very quickly here so you guys can get the gist of what that looks like. So now that we've updated the actual pipeline, we go back here, go to opportunities, see now where this is a new lead that we're reaching out to. And so now we're gonna refresh really quick and then actually change it to where it's like as soon as they do reply back, we're just gonna have it update the actual pipeline itself, because the AI won't do this for you. This is where automation is put in place. So look, it's already there. So replied is gonna be the opportunity it's gonna create, it's gonna update. And if it's not found, you always, this is a pain in the ass. If you have ever used high level and you understand how this works, make sure you create an opportunity. Even if you think it's already sitting in the pipeline, you don't know how much time this is gonna save you. So we're just gonna put this here, replied, and then you're gonna have to give it a new name again. So we're just gonna select the name of the contact, and now that's created. So if there's any other automations you want to add, and there's a suite of things that a high level allows you to do, then you can go ahead and do that. But we're trying to keep it super simple for you guys, so you know kind of how this works, and so that for your business, you can fire these off very quickly for either yourself or for your clients, because you want to keep things super simple. And so you would just repeat this process over and over again. So actually I'm going to update to wait 30 days, wait 30 days. And so after we wait 30 days for that reply, we're going to do the same thing here. Wait 30 days. You'd honestly set this a lot shorter, like 1 day or 2. And if not, then they'll go ahead and actually get moved to the no response. But since we're just doing it for this video right now, we're going to keep it super simple. So we're going to have this one, copy all the actions here, and then boom, paste the rest of it. And just update the actual SMS. So we would change this one to SMS 3. And then you change what you actually put in there. So things like that. And then make sure you always update, well, what's the last wait reply. So it's gonna be this one, SMS 3. And then this one's named SMS 2. So we're gonna put it to SMS 4. And again, update it to that last one. Keeping it very simple. And since all of these are gonna always be the same sort of automation, as soon as they do reply, these can stay the same. And that's how you set up a quick follow-up sequence that then the AI would actually use whenever it's done having a conversation with the lead. You wanna make sure that's like, all right, this lead is not totally ready to get on a call with us, or is ready for the sell or ready to get a cash offer. So what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that we add them to a follow-up. And how you would do that, making sure that the AI does it for you so that you don't even have to remember to add people to a follow-up or get on your VAs or anyone to do it. The AI is gonna do it for you. So you would go here to trigger workflows, and then we're gonna add to follow-up. And there we go, we have the workflow, follow-up workflow every 30 days. Add to follow-up once we've identified lead is not ready for an offer or doesn't have a property available for us. And this is something that I'm creating on the fly. This honestly doesn't make sense if you're working seller leads. You'd honestly want to keep it to just this. If you're working seller leads, if you're working with real estate agents, then you would set up a different type of follow-up sequence for them. And the condition that you would define for them is different. And again, what do you use to actually come up with all of this stuff? Oh, well, you would just go to Claude and it's like, hey, give me some trigger conditions that I would use for these trigger workflows and set this all up. Screenshot this, put it in there, and now you've got the information you're looking for exactly for your business. So that's how that looks like. And I think so far we have actually got kind of everything put in place. Any of the stopbot sequences we went over, if you needed to hand over to a human, I have not used that personally. Most of the time I just use trigger workflows and things like that to be able to set things up. So hello, this is Jessica with AZ Home Buyer, your real estate agent. If so, I'd like to learn more about your experience in deal flow. Yes, I am. And you can keep testing it out over and over again so that you make sure that it actually responds properly to the way you want it to. May I have your full name and license number to verify your active status before we discuss our investment criteria? Very professional here. I probably wouldn't set this up for our clients. That's not the way we don't want to have conversations, but that's because of the way we built it out. So you would just completely change how the prompt is actually set up for it. But if that's what you're looking for, then you can have it do that. And it's like, all right, well, my name is Dave Myers, and my license number is, I don't know what license number agents give out, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so then it's going to go through. And what you can even do with this is make sure that, I don't know if there's a way to where you can actually upload like a way to check if they have it. There's high levels actually working on being able to search up agents in the future and like use the web to search things up. Currently that's not available right now. So at the moment you'd probably just have a database of agents that you have in there who's like, all right, these are the ones that are maybe active in the MLS. You would honestly want to save this for a web search. So the way you would just confirm is just by honestly removing the give us your license number. Just let us know if you're active. Most real estate agents will be very casual about that. And then you have all of that set up and good to go for whenever you're talking to real estate agents. And I guess to show you some examples of what this looks like live, because this is just a rough sketch of what I gave you, but to show you what this looks like with actual conversations, I'm going to actually pull some up right now that I believe we have stored in here. Let me just make sure I find the right ones, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. And so here's what that looks like when it's actually used live, and like you go through testing it out, prompting it correctly, getting all the data from your actual clients or from yourself, and uploading it all into actual Go High Level, using Claude to be able to create the documents for you and going over everything. And this is kind of what a final product would look like. And you put automations and sequences behind all of this, pipeline updates, so that this is running very smoothly to where it's like it's doing the business for you, right? It's like you have a team of VAs, but instead they're AI agents that are doing all of it for you. So here, for example, it starts off with an initial SMS that we send out to real estate agents. And again, this could be for any lead you have to offer. And so we like to reach out, giving them a good, description of who we are, recent deal we closed on, and things like that. Then there's a follow-up because they did not reply. We like to have automations placed every single part of the sales process. So there's a follow-up that gets sent out a day later. Wanted to reconnect in case this got lost in the shuffle. Then they replied saying, I am. And then we have the AI trained specifically for our client on their buy box and what they're looking for. So the AI responded, well, nice. So we buy off-market properties in Austin that need work. Could be just cosmetic or full renovation. We close with cash or financing, whatever fits. Been doing this about 4 years now, closing 2 to 3 deals a month. Do you have any off-market opportunity like that right now, or know anyone who does? Very specific, very straight to the point. The AI has all that data trained on, and now it's going to give it to the real estate agents so they know exactly what we're looking for. Then they actually gave us a lead. My clients are wanting 325. It's a 1,400 square foot home, three bed home, 2 bath, 2 living, 2 dining, and a large lot. Then the AI picks it up immediately, and it triggers an actual workflow to where it hats off the task to someone else. Now we're going to show you exactly what a full conversation looks like now that you've trained it properly, put all the knowledge base into it, set up the personality, intent, additional instructions, and really loaded it up with all the information that's for your business or for your client's business. And now this is kind of an example of what a conversation looks like. This is specifically for one of our clients who is a real estate investor who reaches out to real estate agents to qualify them to see if they work with investment properties and then add them to a follow-up so that we're constantly getting deals from these real estate agents, right? So we start off initially reaching out, and again, this is all from the automations, and we start off referencing a property that they've actually closed on just to show credibility, and we give them a nice welcoming text, knowing that it's cold, so not all the time do we get nice responses, but the AI takes care of all that for us. And this real estate agent did not respond immediately to that conversation, so there's an automation that kicks in right automatically, a follow-up 1 day later, and we just want to stay on top of them. They then actually respond saying that they are active after we sent them that follow-up, and we have the AI trained on exactly what our clients are looking for. So they're mainly looking for off-market properties. Well, nice. So we buy off-market properties in Austin that need work. Could be just cosmetic or full renovation. We close with cash or financing, whatever fits. Been doing this about 4 years now, closing 2 to 3 deals a month. Do you have any off-market opportunities like that right now, or know anyone who does? Straight to the point. These are the type of responses you want to have AI be trained on. And this is kind of what you would probably give to your team as to like how we want to make sure we present ourselves to these other real estate agents. This is how you would present yourself to other leads. And this is for this example here, but you can see how that would work for your business. Then it's response saying my clients are wanting 325. They actually sent over a property, and it's a 1,400 square foot, 3 bed, 2 bath, 2 living, 2 dining on a large lot. AI immediately triggers a workflow. Like I was mentioning, you can then have the AI trigger certain workflows once certain conditions are met. And the one condition that was met here was that they actually had a property. And so what you want to think about with these AI agents is that they actually have different use cases and different brains for each use case. So one of the AI agents is going to just be mainly for initial. And like, I don't know what I'm trying to draw here, but one of them is just going to be for initial part of the conversation, and you're going to have it do that. So look at me trying to write here, but it's look all really nice, and it's going to be for initial. Then once it's done qualifying for the initial, and it's going through the questions and it's seeing if they actually work with properties, at some point the real estate agent might actually have a property for us. So then we want to have it so that it moves over to a new AI agent who's going to then start collecting property details for this one. I'm going to just put a C for this one, and it's going to start collecting details of whatever home they actually have to offer for us. So look at this nice little house, and now it's going to, sole goal is to get those details, and those are the contact info and the contact details that we'd set up, where we're getting the address, condition, asking price, and photos if they're able to provide any. And this is the main goal for this actual AI agent, is to complete that task. The main goal for this initial one was to start getting to qualify them to see if they even work with investment properties, and then add them to a follow-up if they don't have a property. And then you would also have a separate AI agent for follow-up. And each of these is all completing certain tasks within your business that you no longer have to do yourself, because you've set up the agents to do that for you. And so they would have a specific prompt, because now they're actually engaging with real estate agents that we already have a relationship with. So we're approaching the conversation differently. We're making sure we check with our conversation history with them and things like that, so that we're always treating these leads the absolute best throughout the whole sales process. So we're going to go back to this, and it continues having the conversation now that they triggered the workflow so that we can have it start collecting property details. The AI immediately starts responding that way. Oh, nice. Thanks for sharing. Can you give me a quick rundown on the condition? Any major updates needed, or mostly cosmetic stuff? I'll run it by our underwriters and get back to you fast. So this is how they respond. This is how our actual client responds to leads. So we want to make sure that we get back to them like this. And they actually send over photos of the property. This one looks like it needs a little bit of work. It's in distress. And the AI, again, contact field updated. This is very important. This is exactly what we're talking about with what we mentioned here. And here we have the contact field updated. It got cut out a little bit just because I accidentally showed some information I shouldn't have, but we collected the details. And so now that the details were collected, we have that address and the name of the actual lead saved, and the address is tied to that specific contact. So now that's going to actually show up in the opportunity card like we were mentioning when we built that automation. And the AI goes through, and now since we actually have the setting also on to where it's going to pick up on images. So if we go back to the bot settings here, it's going to actually be able to pick up on images. If we scroll down here, it's going to read those images and then actually be able to provide details on what it saw. So thanks for sending all those details and photos. Looks like the house has a lot of personal belongings and could use some updates. Kitchen and bathrooms are definitely vintage, and there's some clutter throughout. Is it mostly just dated and in need of a clean out, or are there any bigger issues like foundation, roof, or HVAC problems that we should know about? Absolutely amazing response. There's no way the real estate agent would think this is AI, knowing that it was even able to look over the actual photos and then give a response based on that. So then they respond saying cosmetic stuff mainly. There is a newer roof and a newer HVAC. These pictures were taken quite a while ago. They now have gotten a lot more out. Perfect, that's super helpful. Sounds like it's mostly cosmetic, which is right up our alley. Appreciate the update. What's the roof and HVAC? Appreciate the update on the roof and HVAC too. What's the seller situation? Are they looking to move quickly, or is there any particular motivation behind the sell? Qualifying even more. Again, this is what this AI specifically is trained on for handling these type of leads. As we showed here, this one was mainly for initial qualification, and that's what's happening in this conversation here. We transferred over to the one that's going to start qualifying about property details so that it performs this task a lot better. And then whenever it's done with this and we need to add them back to the follow-up, there will be a separate AI agent that covers that task, and it's going to be, super money at taking care of follow-up. And so that's what an example of how AI agents can really massively grow and help your business. Learn how to build these, put these systems together so that you never have to worry about getting back to leads ever again. It's what I was able to do for my business whenever I was first starting out. After I started learning about Go High Level and automations, and then AI came into the world, this is the power of setting up some of these systems. So I hope you guys found this video helpful on actually being able to set some of these systems up. And feel free to leave in the comments kind of what businesses you're in, kind of what systems you like to deploy. And if you're at all interested in us being able to implement this for your business, we mainly focus with real estate clients. So those are the people that we go for and we work with. And so if you're looking for something like this, feel free to reach out, and we can definitely help you out on setting something like that up. But for anything else in the future, if you have any questions about how to set some of these up, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you guys just to make sure that you guys know exactly what you need to be able to set some of these up, because these are powerful systems that you can plug into your business that will completely change the way you operate, allowing you to actually grow and scale using AI. So feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.